All right, Flash and Ruby demoing, getting used to new things, and playing a fun game while doing so. All right, so firstly, if you wanted them to be interested in a crate that perhaps was big and scary and they were originally barking at because they didn't know what it was, you can start with something like a look at that game. But starting a look at that game, you don't start with the scary thing, you start with a benign thing, like a stuffy or a ball or something like that. So I'll bring Flash because he actually learns a little quicker. Flashy, good. Can you demo this? Good. So I'm just gonna pull it out from behind my back, and the moment he looks at it, he's offering behaviors he's not sure what he's supposed to do yet. I click and I treat, except for I'm a bad trainer because I didn't have a treat in my pocket. And you don't have to click. If you don't have a clicker, you can just say yes or good dog or whatever your marker word is going to be to let them know that they've done the right thing. That then is followed by a reward. So he's learning that looking at the stuffy, he is told that's a good yes. He's told that that's a good thing, and he gets a treat to reinforce that. Good. Good. And I'll use it without the clicker in case you don't have one. Yes. You need a treat though, don't you? Good. Okay, so you get the idea on that. Flashy hot tip. Good. Okay. So it's Ruby's new stuffy actually. The crate here is actually Ruby's crate. Flash's is nowhere in the view here. So I thought, how am I gonna sort of demo crate games when the dogs have known crate games all their lives for years? Flash being a border collie, I think you were doing something. Thank you, Flash being, did I say your name? I'm sorry, you're right. Being a border collie is used to things being very specific, routine. He doesn't like anything out of routine. This is not his crate, so he's not going to be interested in going in it. Plus, it's smaller than his crate, which he won't like. So we'll see if we can get him interested in going into that crate without really saying anything, just by letting him know he's making good choices that I like. Okay, Flash, good. So this is called free shaping. So he glanced at the crate, so I clicked. So I'm just waiting for him to offer behaviors, and when I see a behavior that I like, I'm gonna click and reward it. Yes. And I toss the treat away, so he has the opportunity to go back and show me, yeah, I got that, good. And I'm advancing very quickly here, one, because he's a border collie, and two, because you don't have all day to watch a video. Good. And again, you don't need to use a clicker, you can just say yes. Good. So I'm going to wait him out a little bit and see if I can get him to, like, instead of kind of putting his head, put a foot in. Good. So again, this is called free shaping. I'm just standing here. He knows I have treats and he knows that he can work for them. He's just good. I should have been faster and clicked for him being in there and done what's called a treat party and rained a ton down on him. So you can see in a matter of moments, he's offering to go in there on his own. I haven't said anything. I haven't asked him anything. I haven't put him in there. None of that stuff. He has chosen to go in a crate he's not been in before, all on his own in just a matter of a couple of minutes. And now I'm just raining treats down to let him know I love that he's choosing to be in there. And this is a really awesome place. And then what you want to do is release him from that. Flash. Good. And then play, excuse me while I go off camera, play a really fun game to kind of break up the monotony. Flashy! Get a ting! Get a ting! And you kind of want to just take a moment away from training, because you can overload them, they can get bored, they can get disinterested, they can get frustrated. So you take a moment to do something really fun that has nothing to do with learning and training. And I keep forgetting to treat Miss Ruby for being such a good girl on the couch. Okay, thank you. And then what you can do is you can do another short training session. Good. And you see how he automatically knew to just go in there. So that's the idea of crate games. Lashy, can you come hop a tub? Can you down, please? Thank you. That's the idea of crate games. It's a start, actually. There's several more stages up from there. There's about 6 stages of crate games, but that's some of the things you can start with. If they didn't want to interact with it exactly like this, what you can do is pull out parts of the crate. I'm just going to pull Ruby's apart a little bit. Like, let's say the mat that's in there, what you can do is pull that out near the crate, and they can start interacting with that. And I didn't release you. I know I didn't release you, my boy. I think you were doing something over here. Oh, thank you. That's a very good boy. I'm curious to see if Ruby will be interested in playing. She doesn't actually, this is her favorite part of games, to just wait and be treated and say, I'm a good girl because I'm sitting on the couch. Ruby, good girl. Good girl. So she interacted with the mat. So I'm saying that's a good thing, and I'm tossing the Ruby treat away. So it gives her an opportunity to choose to come back and interact with the mat again. Good girl. And then what you would do is you would slowly start moving the mat back in and see if she'll interact with it still. Yeah, good job. So it is a little scary for her that her mat is out because there's a shiny surface underneath, and dogs don't love that. So she is being cautious. Good, 1 foot. She decided to go all the way in just like that. So I don't know if you can see on camera, the mat is just now partially in, and she's already choosing just to go back in. All right. Okay, thank you, no, Miss Ruby Tuesday, for the demo. Ruby Search. And she doesn't like to play with toys as much, but we'll see. I'm giving her a break from training again, like we talked about. Ruby, you okay? Want to get to tea? Want to get that thing? Want to get this stuffy? She's definitely not as toy driven. That's okay, she still likes to just kind of check things out and stuff. And this is still a break from training, and it's still one-on-one time with me. And she doesn't have to share Stuffy with Flash, so that's still a good thing for her. By the way, me doing that kind of thing, that's engaging their opposition reflex. Yeah. Oh, I think somebody was doing something. I think Flashy was supposed to be doing something. Oh, thank you. Okay, sweetheart, that's a good girl. Oh, she'd rather play crate games. Good girl. Get it. All right, so next step is things like, okay, she's gone in there, you treat her and you close the door. And you give a second. And what some people want is to put the hand on the door and wait for a sit, which she did. I actually wasn't expecting that. Good. Close the door again. Wait for a sit, don't wait for a sit. What you don't want is them pushing on the crate. Unless, of course, they're terrified, then you stop the game. At this point, it's unlikely that they would be scared because you've already built up enough positive reinforcement that they're actually enjoying this game. And you do this maybe 3 times, or whatever you feel. And then you might say, your puppy wouldn't know these things yet, but now the puppy's free to go, so you might say, get it, and then toss a treat so they know that it's fine to come out. And they can choose. What you want is for them to choose to go back in all on their own. Now you've tossed treats, but they're not choosing to go and do something oh, good boy. The treats hit the floor, he knows he's not supposed to take off the floor, so. Ruby, get it. And what some people do here is they actually have a leash clipped, and they're actually stepping on the leash, so the dog might be wandering around but not be able to go and take off on you. And then with that, you're being a very good girl. Then with that that short radius that they're on, it limits their choices to what they can do, and eventually they will choose to go back in the crate. So I put my hand there, what a good girl. So she chooses to sit. And I will show you what this turns into later, why the sit. And again, you don't have to do this, it's just something I learned in the full crate games. Good. And you treat high into the back so that there's, you know, not room for them to bolt, because that's a safety concern. And then again, Ruby, get it. Good. Good boy, Flashy. And then again, you know, you play a bit of a game. Ruby, wanna come get a thing? Wanna come get a thing? And because, you know, just monotonous training is no fun, so we call this a play break or brain break. Right, right, yeah, yeah. All right, good. Okay, so I will bring you over here, and I'll show you what this kind of transitions to. If I can get a good, there, I think that should work. So you saw the sit and the hand at the door. Flashy, you were doing something. It's not usually this naughty. You saw the sit and the hand at the door at the crate. Sorry, I'm off camera. Ruby, with me. Flash, stay. Can you hop up and stay? Good. Ruby. So you saw the sit and the hand at the door at the crate. This is our back door leading to the outdoors. I'm actually just, you're off camera, sweetie. There we go. You see how I put my hand on the door? I didn't say a thing. And she knows that she's supposed to ring these bells to go outside as well. But I also, hand at the door means sit. And just because the door opened doesn't mean, good word, thank you for showing me, or having an opportunity for us to show that. Just because the door opens doesn't mean that you get to go. And she hasn't done that in a long time, actually broke sit to try to leave, and all I did was just close the door. I didn't say no, I didn't say bad dog or anything like that. Can you come back into camera, sweetie? Good, you're being such a good girl. So she's choosing to sit. Good. Ruby, go! And then she knows she can go. And that's a safety thing. Okay, come on in, please. Thank you. That also translates to going out the front door so you don't have chaos. And Ruby, come. Good gal. And leaving the vehicle, you know, you go to the dog park, you go to the vet, you go wherever. You don't want your dog bolting out the door. You want them showing calm, quiet, waiting for that release cue. So that's some of the basics of crate games and what you can do with it once you learn it and take time to learn all the steps. There's also crate games level with distractions where they're choosing to be in the crate and I'm tossing treats, I'm tossing, you know, favorite toys. I might be running around like an idiot trying to get them to come out of their crate, but it's so much value for them. They're like, no, I'm staying in my crate because this is where all good things happen. One more thing, this is Flash's crate, so we'll demo with him. Thank you, Ruby. Can you go hop it up? She actually just went into the crate instead of hopping it up. Ruby, can you come hop it up here? Down. So I'm going to show you what it looks like when I grab their food bowls. I don't say a word, but here's what they do. You can go. Oh, sorry. I created confusion here. Down. Ruby. Yeah, I know. You saw the food bowl and you're defaulting to your crate. Thank you. Ruby, stay. And Flash, go. So I have the bowl. being a goof. Thank you. Good job. Get it. So that's how morning and evening feeding goes. That's how all treats go. Frozen Kongs, frozen bones, all of those kinds of things. When they come in from the outdoors here, I'll demo that. We have a jar of cookies right by the door all the time. And this is obviously once potty training is done and you're not having to escort them in and out all the time. Flash. Good. It's going to be hard for Ruby because she loves going outside. We'll see. Good. Sit. Ruby, hop attack. Thank you. You stay there. Good. It's Flash's turn to demo this. Flash, go. Flash, come. Good. Yeah. And they come in from outside. He thinks I'm trying to train him to bang the bells. That's not what we're doing here. Let's try again. Flash, go. Get it. Ruby, stay. I'm going to see if he chooses to come in and go to his crate. This is how it normally goes as soon as they come in from outside, so that they don't track their snowy feet or muddy feet all over the house. They come in and they automatically, I don't tell them go to your crate. I don't, as you saw, I don't say anything. It's their choice. That's another game. It's your choice. All right, so that's probably a longer video than you needed. So we'll say ta for now. Yeah, Ruby, come here. Flashy, can you go to your, thank you. Ruby, can you sit? Good. Can you say goodbye? Can you say goodbye? Yeah, that's a good girl. Ruby says bye. Flashy, sit. Can you say bye-bye? Yeah. Well, that was pretty lame. Ruby did it pretty good. Flashy, say bye. Flash, say goodbye. Thank you. That's better already.